Time. 2. Compare. 3 themes. Finally, after doing research into 3 different themes of set, I now had to choose the one I felt had the most potential and usefulness to continue as a product/theme. I found that to compare the themes, first I wanted to summarize everything I had gone over in these past few themes and the parts I found were most useful in my research. In my first theme, we need to look at the concept of setting time, where a majority of my first amount of research got put into looking at time loops and alternate ways of telling time. I like to do a variety of artists such as Olafur Eliasson and Salvador Dali, and I did some other key pieces of research such as looking into self-healing materials, or one of the most important parts of research from this theme, that being the movie The Clock, which was the 24-hour film where every minute it showed a clip from a film that referenced that minute. Now, while this theme had relatively little content comparatively to the other themes, I did do a lot of research and I did find a lot of well thought out models, with my Fusion 360 models and green screen combination allowing me to create easy, simple to understand 3D models which I could use to represent the different ways of telling time, which is the series I focused on during this theme. I also experimented slightly with laser cutting, vacuum forming and a variety of other techniques, all of which combined together to help me create probably one of the best products I have available at the moment, that being my photo clock, where borrowing the concept of the 24-hour film The Clock, the idea of this clock being to show a picture that was taken at the exact minute it was taken. I also made a variety of initial designs ranging from rectangular, alarm clocks, projectors, and even radio clocks, all of which ended up culminating in me designing a really quick scale model which I could use to represent how it would appear in the real world. This concept had one of my favourite premises out of all of the concepts I came up with throughout all 3 of these themes in fact, but however it also had a lot to improve upon. Key portions being the main focus: what do I want to achieve with this product? What problems does it solve? Now the key issue being, in what form will it be presented? An app, a digital photo frame, some sort of projector or something? There's a lot to work upon here. And finally, also I need to improve upon the technical work, i.e. how will the programming work, how will I figure out how to show these photos, do I need to do research into LCD screens, all sorts of stuff that I had a lot of potential to look into. That being said, let's move on to the second theme, that being setting environments. The main focus of this theme was to be able to create and alter environments that you place a product upon. Key pieces of research include looking into Olafur Eliasson's various artworks, with one of my personal favorites being The Uncertain Shadow. A lot of extra research into color theory and lighting and how it can affect the user's mental health and the environment they're placed upon it. And finally, a lot of basic research upon what products you actually use within the household, which is what I wanted to focus on within this product, to contrast with Olafur Eliasson's museum-altering products. In this theme, I performed a lot of practical experiments with me working with metalworking, vacuum forming, concrete, resin, woodwork, and from these quick experiments I came up with a variety of iterations and design ideas, finally culminating in a series of products which I dubbed my Natural Lighting series. With the key concepts of this Natural Lighting series being combining nature and lighting to create an environment which would be both beneficial for the user's mental health through looking at combining the mental health benefits of nature and mental health benefits of lighting, while being able to change. For my Natural Lighting series, I ended up with 2 main design concepts. Those being, number 1, my bamboo lighting, where the general idea was to take a portion of a plant, in this case bamboo, cut it out and replace it with light. Therefore, you can have a lighting piece that will grow with you as you spend time there, creating a deeper connection to the light overall, and creating a nicer environment as it has more of a natural state, taking up the space of both plants and lighting in one space. And one of my other favourite pieces being my chrysanthemum wand, where it was a little product that you'd place somewhere in a corner of a room or something that could help light up the entire room and add a variety of other smells such as sound, smell, different colour lighting, other sorts of things that I thought if you could buy a few, it could completely change the environment and the settings of where you were, which is very in key with a theme, setting environments. My third and my most recent theme would be Set in Motion, which should be fresh in your memory at this point, having just finished it previously. The main focus of this theme was kind of split between 2 tasks, one being creating the illusion of motion or creating a smoother animation through using motion, or using the concept of motion to increase inclusivity, socializing, and interactivity in the kitchen. Once again, I had a fair bit of research in this project. For example, looking into artists such as Giacometti and Boccioni to look into high dynamic movement, how I can create the illusion of motion with a single product. An extremely large amount of quantum physics research, which I was very inspired by and found super interesting, and I loved creating symbolic representations of it, especially in my next piece of research, where I did a lot of experiments with optical illusions, including zoetropes, stroboscopic effect, color wheels, all sorts of things that I particularly enjoyed. And also, not all of them succeeded, all of them granted me results that I found quite interesting and I felt I could use, especially later on. My final important piece of research being wabi-sabi, a Japanese aesthetic that focuses on the impermanence and the rustic simplicity of life, which I also felt very inspired by and I'd like to take inspiration from in this series. With this theme, I had a variety of important product series that I had come up with the most key ones being my kinetic kitchenware and my alternate kitchenware. The kinetic kitchenware being a focus on increasing interactivity and socializing in the kitchen, either through the cooking stage or through the eating stage, with a variety of products designed to free up space and calm the mind, while also increasing motion around the kitchen, thus increasing the effort you're putting into the kitchen. And of course, my alternate kitchenware which was inspired by artist Boccioni and Giacometti, which includes my mug and my candle holder, both of which I feel like, while whipped up really quickly, I feel like they could have a lot of potential with the way they're designed, and their art styles could be incorporated into a variety of other sets of kitchenware. Having now summarized each of the main themes, I'm going to compare the positives and the negatives of each theme, and then come to a decision about which one I can connect to and feel inspired by most. So how I decided to go about this is create a short list with the positives and negatives of each theme, where the main things I'm looking to evaluate here are the pre-existing research and product designs that I can expand upon, and the general potential I see in everything. With my first theme being setting time, I have the positives that I've got a focused final product design that I can easily expand upon, therefore having a lot of potential to explore within this theme, and it requires a lot of skill in various areas to explore. The negatives of this theme are that there is limited pre-existing research which I have done, as this theme has the least amount of research to it, and that comparatively it is a much more simpler theme to the other themes that I had explored. With that being said, moving on to my second theme of setting environments, I have a variety of positives and negatives, with my positives being it's got a focus on an interesting series, that being of course my nature-inspired lighting. It's got lots of research into the mental health of the user and how it can be designed best to fit the user's needs. And there's a large range of ideas that can be produced from this series, alongside a large range of materials to work with. Negatives include there is a general lack of inspiration. Most ideas, bar maybe the last two, don't have enough further potential in my opinion, at least comparatively to what I have in theme 1. And the last negative being that I had done lighting last year, which I wasn't a particular fan of, and in case we go into lockdown, wouldn't be the best situation to go about again. My third and final theme was of course set in motion, where I had a multitude of positives such as a large amount of research to rely upon, kitchenware being a topic I am familiar with and still interested in, and interesting materials or mechanisms to apply into these products. Of course I have negatives too, with those being that a lot of my products aren't focused enough. A lot of the final products I came up with were just kind of all over the place, with the general theme lightly tying them together. To continue on with this idea, I have no final products at all in this theme, with 4 different series, with that being my kinetic kitchenwares, my artist kitchenware, my optical illusions, and other such things. Finally, the big issue with this theme is that the majority of the research and time I spent was done on optical illusions, of which I can't find an actual use within this theme. After looking over all the positives and negatives of each theme, I realized that I enjoyed working on all of them. However, I felt that due to the focus and thought put into the concept of my setting time project, alongside with its potential as a product comparatively, would result in my choosing that theme over the others. Having considered what I believed was the most creative and had the most potential out of all of them, and also was the one I wanted to work on most, I decided to go with my original theme, setting time, and the product of my photo clock to move forwards with. Finally, with all that being said and done, I could finally finish looking at my variety of themes and focus on my one final theme, that being the theme of setting in time. I really enjoyed working on these other 2 themes, and I don't want this research to go to waste. So what I'm going to do next is take all the research I've done so far and figure out how I can all funnel it into a more focused design, interviewing some primary users and making mind maps and design briefs for my final product, which I'll be focusing on next episode. Here we go.